dozen state-of-the-art sport facilities, thousands of fans, the fusion of art and science, adrenaline and euphoria. The grand sport. The gigantic mechanism. Watch at Sports Giants. This game originated in the Arab countries even before our era. Found on the walls of temples in Egypt, drawings dating from about the 15th century BC gave scientists the opportunity to assert that this game can surely be considered one of the oldest in the world. And not everyone could play this sport, only priests. Of course, in this way, they did not try to entertain themselves, but performed an important ritual rite. Which one, no one knows. But as if the priests did not try to retire, years later, more precisely than the century, this game escaped beyond the confines of the sacred world. First, the inhabitants of the European part of the world started to play it. Its name from the French translates as "here you are, play."
Сева, привет.
Seva, hello.
Корзину взял?
How are you?
Сева, давай побольше подач.
Seva, let's do more innings. I won especially in the second square. Recently, I have a lot of double matches.
Постучим немного, давай, на квадрате, у сетки, с лету, смеш.
Let's play by the grid.
Под конец. 3-4 корзины подачи, думаю, будет достаточно.
Tennis is a beautiful and very emotional game. They play it, look at it, and discuss it. Some people, it attracts at the professional level, and others, amateur, the third, as avid fans.
Давай возьмем 4 мяча на этот раз.
Let's take 4 balls.
Сыграем матч сегодня?
Play a match today.
Я тебя выиграю.
I'll win. He always gives short pitches and always catches everything. More than 1 million people play tennis. This is the most popular individual sport. For the game, you need speed, endurance, discretion, and of course, racket and stock of balls. But how the game will go depends also on where you play.
Были построены первые спортивные сооружения.
In 1999, the first tennis centers were built.
Хорошего теннисного корта.
Before that, there was not a single good tennis court. There were playgrounds that did not meet the standards. In Kazakhstan, tennis is actively developing now. There is also an appropriate infrastructure. We are now on an open central court. Now there is an open training session of Andrei Golubev with our junior Maratulu Ilyas. The tennis court is not only the site itself, 24 by 11 meters, but the whole area with races to the fence. That is, the size of the court is determined by the size of the fence. There is a so-called Euro court, size of 36 by 18 meters. It is these parameters that meet the requirements of advanced players and qualifying competitions at Roland Garros. For professionals of the so-called first 100, for matches of the Davis Cup and the Federation Cup, a tennis court with a size of 40 to 20 is required. This is the central building, where we have 4 closed courts, 3 in one hall and 1 central arena. Now we go into the hall where we have 3 courts. It is a very good base for hosting international tournaments. It meets all world standards. On weekdays, children train here in normal working mode. It should be also noted that the number of children engaged in the country regularly grows. Much credit for this belongs to the Tennis Federation of the country, which makes a lot of efforts in the preparation of qualified coaching staff. The Tennis Federation has been cooperating with the largest academies of the world for 7 years. Since 2007, tennis players have been sent to America, to the Academy of Vitaly Gorin. We started cooperation with Spain, with the Academy Tennis Wall. We cooperate with the Academy of Eric van Harpen from Germany. Today, Kazakhstan is on the board of directors of the Asian Federation. The Department for the Development of the Asian Youth Tennis Tour was created, following the example of a similar tour in the European Tennis Association. And the tennis center in Astana was given the status of the Asian Tennis Center.
Это самая большая в Казахстане база.
This is the largest base in Kazakhstan, the best one.
Кортов. В помещении 10 закрытых хардов и 3 закрытых грунта.
We have 12 open courts on the street. The room has 10 closed hard courts and 3 closed ground courts.
Они оценивают ее очень высокого уровня, что не везде в Европе, точнее даже сказать.
Nowhere in Europe you'll find such a large base. The largest tournaments are held as part of the ATP Tour for men and WTA Tour for women. Winners and participants of tournaments receive prize money and points, on the basis of which world ratings are built.
Теннисный центр был построен в 2000.
Tennis Center, built in 2008, accepts the largest number of events.
В нашей стране. Это касается международных.
These are international, republican, regional tournaments, unofficial World Cups, Davis Cup among men.
Кубок Дэвиса это среди мужчин. Федерация тенниса.
The Tennis Federation conducts international competitions in 3 directions. The first, ITF, the International Tennis Federation, holds tournaments for children under 18 and for professional tennis players among men and women. There are tournaments from the ATF series. This is the Asian Tennis Federation for children under 14 years old. Last year we took the Masters Top 8 on ATF lines. Tennis tournaments have their history from the end of the previous century. And if then they were not so popular and gathered a limited number of participants and spectators, today it is one of the most spectacular sports included in the Olympic program.
Здесь проводится турнир.
Here is held the tournament Green Ball for children aged 10 to 12 years. This is already played by players with a good level of technique.
Основное различие между
The
взрослыми.
main difference between an adult tennis and a child is speed. In principle, they perform the same actions. The blows to the right, the blows to the left. Someone is a little better, some are a little worse, but they're playing the same.
Одно из отличий это, наверное, подача снизу.
One of the differences is the bottom feed the second, which young players use. They serve the second from the bottom, the adults serve 2 feet from above. This is a very active weapon in tennis, especially in men's.
Хотелось бы добавить ему немного вращения больше. Да. Чтобы он завершал больше, знаете, больше, чтобы...
I would like to add more rotation to it, so he could complete his blow on the shoulder with the right hand. The left one is not bad. It moves very well on the court. It is clear that he has a good tennis skill. He's very good at keeping the ball. Here he was wrong on the left, because he held his arm upright for too long. He needed to finish it a bit earlier. That would turn the ball and get to the court.
Судьи и остальной обслуживающий персонал.
We provide the referee and the rest of the match attendance depending on the level of the tournament. At children's tournaments, there is no judge for the towers, because children need to give themselves the opportunity to learn to count.
Когда уже игроки.
When players are already at the professional level, there is also a judge on the tower and line judges, so that the accuracy of the result would be maximum.
А этот детский турнир.
At the children's tournament, there are observers who stand between the courts. They correct if suddenly some questions or wrong actions are taken by the players themselves.
Он делает небольшую ошибку, он заступает ногой за линию. Это то, что я вам показывал. Это.
He's not making a big mistake. He just has his foot a little bit over the line. In children's tennis, a player will only get a warning. In adult tennis, this will be punished by fine. In children's tennis, it is necessary to warn him. Next time, he must correct the mistake.
Более немного лояльно, и нужно его предупредить. В следующий раз он должен исправить эту ошибку. Какой счет?
What is the score?
Если вдруг за шаг будет делать.
They're just beginning.
У него, если что.
If suddenly they will have their feet over the line, let me know. Big tennis is a sport that requires many conditions. It is not only about the personal qualities of athletes, professional equipment, but also the conditions of the court itself, in particular, its coverage. There are several types. Basically, it's ground and hard courts.
Мы заходим в зал.
We go into the hall where we have 3 ground courts. Ground is also a professional coating, which is exactly where Roland Garros is held. Its specificity is that it can slide a little, bounce it a little higher and slower. The matches from this a little longer, more interesting and more dramatic.
Более интересные, более драматичные.
This coating is made of a mixture of clay, sand and brick, or stone crumbs. Rubber or plastic crumbs can also be added. When servicing, ground courts need periodic watering, so as not to dry out. Clean the lines of marking. If necessary, we add a little bit more of a sand. The French Open Championship is held on the ground courts. Successful players on these courts are traditionally tennis players from Spain, France, and South America. To conduct major events, it takes a lot of courts that match the coverage. Ground slightly slows down the ball. Hard court is faster. At Open Championships in Australia and the United States, hard cover is used. Hard is a hard coating that can provide a quick and stable rebound of the ball. Unconditional plus, there is no dependence on the weather and do not need special maintenance. Cons, more traumatic. Danger due to the high level of adhesion of shoes to the surface of the court. We are on a standard tennis court. Its length is 22 meters, width is 11 meters. This is the court of hard cover, which is used in international tournaments. For singles and doubles, it is necessary to get into the square when completing the feats. There is the first square, the second square. It is a corridor. It is used only for a doubles game.
Это коридор.
When they play 2-on-2, this court increases and this zone becomes active. For single-player use, only what is inside, between the extreme right-hand line and the extreme left line. It's all a game field. The grid for big tennis is an integral attribute of the game, with standard sizes of 1,280 by 107 centimeters. If a doubles game is played, the length of the grid can be increased. The grid for the big tennis has a square shape, it's 4 by 4 centimeters. The grid for the big tennis divides the court strictly in the middle. It is also marked with a special white marking throughout the site. The markup limits the player's play area or zone. Now I'll show you the pitch. This is very beginning of the game. This is the ball input. It is necessarily carried out because of the back line. You cannot cross the line. The hit must be necessarily in the square. Playing field. Feed is performed of the hand. Pitch is performed over the head. An inherent toss-up and a blow over your head. By the way, the number of mistakes made by the athlete is significantly affected by the speed indicators of the court, because the so-called slow coverings give more time for the preparation of the blow. They allow you to be in time on the right spot. The tennis player is less risky, so he makes fewer mistakes.
Счет.
What's the score?
Ну окей, давай до 10 доиграйте и потом с подачи.
Okay, let's play up to 10. And the start with a blow forward. Let's get on the court.
Вперед, вперед, вперед.
Don't stand still.
Заходи в корт, не надо стоять, заходить опять надо, ближе. Эй, стоишь, камон.
Do the same with your feet. Aitoir.
Счет. Сыграли? Давай, с подачи. Мяч.
Score. What is it?
Давай, с подачи до 10, Aitoir.
Let's blow up to 10.
Вторая. Да.
Aitoir, well, you're doing it again.
Давай ноги готовь, Aitoir.
Come closer to the ball.
Ну ты опять элементарно просто не доходишь, просто не
2
доходишь.
steps closer.
Мячу ближе.
The second,
2 шага.
get ready.
На 2 шага вперед. Давай, продолжай.
В данной ситуации я, то есть на приеме я
When I was receiving the ball, I was meeting it too late, and that is one of my mistakes.
и в сетку играл. Это одна из ошибок была.
Ну концовка где?
Where is the ending?
Каждый раз.
Every time you should have an ending. Why are you standing still?
Что ты стесняешься?
You should be training, and you standing again. Have a rest. Start again.
Давай, подавай, ничего страшного. Типичные молодые ошибки у молодых спортсменов, ну,
One of the major mistakes of young athletes is that most of the time they don't have enough of patience. They're fired up, they want to win. Because of this, they make slightly more unforced errors than experienced athletes. Tennis is often called chess in motion. There's an apparent connection. After all, tennis is considered not only beautiful, but also an intellectual sport, where athletes need to think logically and calculate moves several steps forward. If we are mistaken, we must analyze it. And in the next blow, the next training, we need to think about how we can correct our mistakes and play better. The tennis player must start the score and win. I used to make mistakes very often. Now much less. I feel confident in that blow. Tennis is considered an elite, aristocratic sport. It is played by many celebrities, representatives of ruling dynasties, and successful businessmen. The best players in tournaments earn not only points, but also huge prize money. But all this is only at first glance. In fact, this is a very laborious sport, requiring the athlete to maximize the physical and moral effort. The game of tennis implies in itself and makes demands on young players so that they can be comprehensively developed from a small age.
Развитый спортсмен должен с детства уже быть.
The athlete should be accustomed to physical development from childhood. From 5 to 6 years, a tennis player and coaching staff should engage in physical education.
И тренерский состав занимается им физическим воспитанием, поэтому не.
Therefore, an integral part is training on general physical training, as well as special physical training. My idol is Rafael Nadal. He's very hardworking. I like his style of play. He gives the ball a very large spin. He has strong arm wrists. I like his behavior on the court. He looks very focused. I won my very first tournament when I was 10 years old. Emotions are inexpressible. There was a lot of motivation to win tournaments. I wanted to have many medals and prizes. Each victory motivates to an even greater victory, more play and training.
Федерация тенниса Республики Казахстан будет проводить Кубок президента большим призовым фондом.
The Tennis Federation will host the President's Cup. Great prize money. 50 countries participate. We will have Davis Cup stage. Our team entered the World League. We accept the team from Argentina. The fight will be difficult, but we're getting ready.
Конечно, борьба будет сложная, но мы к этому будем готовиться. В этом году большой праздник. 3 года назад
This year will be a big holiday. 3 years ago, the president of the federation, the head of state, invited our world tennis stars. Nadal came, Tonga. These athletes never came to the CIS countries. They showed masterclasses. In late September, there will be a match of 2 world athletes. This is Nadal and Djokovic.
двух выдающихся спортсменов мирового эшелона. Это Надаль и Джокович.
There are a lot of events in the world of tennis. And even if there is no interest in sports, you can at any time watch the sets, feel the atmosphere of the game. It's like going to the theater, in which, according to the results of the sports performance, there will definitely be an exciting game, emotions, applause, a winner and a loser, and of course, a dream.